Welcome to the weekly portion of Zera Shimshon. It's Parshat Chukas, and this is the 8th day of Sivan, Tafshin Pei Aleph. And it's going to be a short one today because Baruch Hashem, we're celebrating this weekend my grandson's bar mitzvah, Elazar and Nisim, and we're going to dedicate this to a few people that are having trouble having babies. So I won't mention the names because I don't want to. I have them in mind, so I don't want to embarrass anybody. Okay, well, I'm in Parshat Chukas Zera Shimshon. Lo haya mayim le'eda. There wasn't water for the community. Pirush Rashi, but mikan shekol arboim shana haya lahem habe'er b'schus Miriam. From here we learned that all 40 years they had this water in the schus of Miriam at Tzadekes. Kasha, amai hutzach Rashi loimar shekol arbaim shana. Why did Rashi have to say all 40 years? The kitesa gadaiten shalahayo lahem be'er b'schus Miriam. And you think it would enter your mind that it wasn't in the merits of Miriam to have the water? El mixas meham, only partial years? Okay. He said, from here until there, we the whole time we had the water in the schos of Miriam. Okay, till she died. The Ishla we can answer this with the Gemara in Bava Metzia Daf Pei Vav with base. It says there, Amrinin, it says, I'll read the whole thing. Pligi, the Rabbi Chaim, Rabbi Chanina, the Omer Rabbi Chaim Bar Chanina, the Chain Tana de Rabbi Shmuel. V'schar shleisha zachu l'shleisha. In the merit of 3 acts of hospitality that Avram Pravinu performed for the angels, his descendants merited 3 rewards. So that's what he means. V'schar chema v'chalav, in the merit of giving them curds, curds. I don't know if that's the correct translation. Let's try. Chema in modern Hebrew is butter. So butter and milk. So zachu l'man, they were privileged to get the manna. B'schar v'hu oimed alehem, in the merit that he was standing over them. In other words, like he towered over them and helped them, like a servant. Zachu la'amod ha'anon. So they were privileged to get the pillar of clouds in the desert. B'schar yukach no me'at mayim zachu lebe'era shel Miriam. In the merit of take a little water be fetched. Okay, they merited the well of Miriam. Okay, so he says, the Maharsha comments on this in Perek Kama de Ketainis and Daf Tes Amud Aleph. Isa, it's brought there, Shaman b'schus Moshe, Ober b'schus Miriam. There it says the man was in the merit of Moshe, and the Miriam had the schus of the Be'er. V'kan oimer shahya b'schus Avram. And here, in this Gemara, it's mashma that it was in the merit of Avram Avinu. The teretz, the Ramashah gives a teretz, the b'schus Avram lo hayu zoichem b'hem. In the merit of Avram, they wouldn't be privileged to that water, only for a short time. But in the merits of Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, so it was drawn out 40 years. They got 40 years. They got fed and drink, food and water and clouds to protect them. That's amazing. You could say just the opposite, actually. The Zera Shimshon says, that only in the merit of Moshe and Aaron and Miriam you could get it only temporarily. But together, gathered with the merit of Avraham Avinu, then they got it for 40 years. Therefore it says, it writes, Shemisas Miriam Dafka and Garma Mayim La'eda. That's why the death of Miriam caused that they should not have water for the nation. Zeo sheramaz Rashi shaloi tamer shahayu lahem be'er b'schus Avram. That's why Rashi says, didn't say that the be'er was in the merit of Avram. The whole 40 years was in the merit of Miriam when she was alive. Because from the merits of Avram, it would have been sufficient to get him the water for 1 hour. And here's the Segula. It's Hashem. Everybody should be especially refuah shalema for all those that need a refuah shalema. As Yidden who believe in Rabbeinu Shalom, it is obvious that He directs us to the precise spot where we need to be every second of our lives. Sometimes we understand that why we needed to be there, sometimes not. But there's mostly not. But there's no question that every move is orchestrated from above. A relative called Rabbi Yamin Pashka is on the 8th of Tammuz, and it's only this today, right? And related the following incident. If I said 7 before, I meant Tammuz. Oh yeah, I'm mixed up. Okay. I was up in the mountains on the 8th of Tammuz exactly 1 year ago, he began, and I went to a shul to learn. On one of the tables, I caught sight of a sefer of Zera Shimshon. At the end of the latest edition, there was a section with stories about things that happened to people who learned the sefer. I read the stories with fascination, impressed by the diversity of people's personal testimonies and Yeshuas. There were health-related stories and stories about Parnasa, but the majority of the stories revolved around families davening to be blessed with children. On the spot, I decided that I too would join the ranks of the thousands who already were part of the Zera Shimshon movement and would begin learning the Sefer every Shabbos morning before davening for 1 year's time. I began my Seder that Shabbos, and therefore, before I started learning, I said, I am learning the Ilui Nishmas HaMechaber of the Sefer Rabbeinu Shimshon Chaim ben Rav Nachman Mechoel. May it be your will, Rabbeinu Shalom, that the words that he wrote in the introduction to his Sefer come true. In the 3 categories he mentioned before, children, health, and Parnasa, Chaim, right? Parnasa. And Ben Yamin, his relative said, his voice filled with emotion, I want you to know that my daughter was born today, on the 8th day of Tammuz, exactly 1 year from the moment I first came across the Sefer and decided to learn it seriously. Rabbi Yamin was, of course, extremely touched by the story, as well as I am, but his relative wasn't finished yet. I want to tell you one more thing. He said, during the months leading up to the birth, we went to the doctor for an examination, and he told us that it looked as though there were some serious complications with the baby. The moment I heard the doctor's words, I was makabel on myself to donate money toward the publication of the Zera Shimshon. We returned to the doctor a week later. He examined my wife again, and this time his face was first puzzled and then filled with relief. Good news, he said. The problem I was worried about the last time seems to have completely disappeared without a trace. Everything is fine. Surprise, doctor. Rabbi Yamin, he concluded joyfully, Baruch Hashem, the baby was born today and is completely healthy 1 year to the day. Have a good Shabbos and a refuah shlema to everybody that needs it.